Welcome back to the channel, people. We are here, next gen Madden, and I can't. It's kind of weird, right? Because I can't even be like, "Hey, look at this different menu. It's next gen Madden." You can definitely tell this is next gen. This is on the PS5. This isn't our Raiders franchise, and the reason for that is because for whatever reason, the file that was uploaded to the cloud is different from the file that I actually played with. I don't know why, but it just is. It's a different file. What I mean by that is I had the file that I would play the games on, and then another file that I would like I simmed ahead in. And for whatever reason, that's the file that it uploaded to the cloud to begin next gen Madden with. So that franchise is done. And in its replacement, we're gonna go on with our heated rivals, the Chicago Bears, for our new franchise. This is the team that is in, I think, just sort of complete turmoil. This Matt Nagy looks disgusted. I think Matt Nagy knows he's probably going to get fired in the offseason. I think GM Ryan Pace is probably also going to get fired. I should mute my TV if I want to be really professional about this. But you look at this squad, and for whatever reason, Cordell Patterson has superstar. I don't know when the hell that happened. Was that just to give him the returner ratings? Has he even returned a touchdown this season? I don't know. So you look at this squad, you got Mitchell Trubisky, Nick Foles. That's a superstar quarterback room if I've ever seen one. Nick Foles being a 73, I think is a little freaking outrageous in my opinion. Nick Foles should be like a 65 overall. Nick Foles is terrible. I don't care what any of you dummies in Philly think. You know, your brains have been rotted by Cheese Whiz. Nick Foles is a terrible, he's an okay backup quarterback. That's it. Not a starting level quarterback, not a guy that you would want to rely on, because we've seen multiple franchises try to rely on Nick Foles, and it has failed every single time. Just has. Look along this offensive line. The only thing that is offensive about this offensive line is that they are offensive to the game of football. This is terrible. Jason Spriggs, he was awful in Green Bay. Complete bust of a pick. So of course Chicago, the Bears, and all their infinite wisdom, I don't know if they're trying to like own the Packers, like, yeah, we made this guy good. No, you didn't. He's terrible. He's not good. He's terrible right tackle. Just not good. Got a good guard here, I guess. I don't know, Bears fans, I haven't watched too many of your games. Is this guy any good? He's a 70 overall, which means in Madden he's usable. You got Cody White here, who is the standout of this offensive line at a 79 overall with star dev. That'll never go up because linemen still don't go up in dev traits, I believe, not even on next gen. Then you have Charles Leno, 79 overall, also star development. So those are the two linemen you have that are good. Everyone else can sort of piss off, I suppose. Just not good. Then you have Darnell Mooney here, who is very good. A really nice standout receiver. You know he's a standout because he's, the people throwing him the passes this year are not very good, but he has looked very impressive. So good, in fact, that Mitchell Trubisky tried, while he's double covered, tried throwing him a ball that gets picked off in the Sunday night game versus the Packers. So you have Allen Robinson II. I believe he is a free agent after this season. I'm not 100% sure. I could be wrong. Yes, he is a free agent after this season, and if he's smart, he's splitting. He's not. He is not sticking around in Chicago because this is a team that is definitely going to go through a rebuild, I think. Which is perfect for us. There's a good chance that the team that I picked initially in the Raiders was just a little too good, actually. Then take a look here at this defense. And, you got Khalil Mack. you have Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith. That's hard to say fast. Roquan Smith here out of Georgia. A guy who I wanted the Packers to draft. Very good inside linebacker. Trevathan. Solid guy. But then I feel like outside of that, I think things get a little tough. You know, I think you got Bilal Nichols here, who is very good. You have Akeem Hicks, who is also very good. Seems like Akeem Hicks should be the nose tackle on this team. But Akeem Hicks, 30 years old. And take a look here at his contract. Still 2 years left on that deal for him. So we don't know if he'll play those out. You never know in Madden. He might just up and retire. Because that's what guys tend to do, even if you re-sign them for money. Take a look here at this secondary as well. Of course, standout in Eddie Jackson, who is a straight-up beast. I think he's part of the reason why the Packers drafted Darnell Savage. I think Darnell Savage coming out of Maryland, I think a lot of people thought he sort of looked similar to Eddie Jackson. I don't know if he's played as well as Eddie Jackson. Did have those 2 big picks against Trubisky, but outside of that, it's been relatively quiet this season. You have Kyle Fuller. Also take a look at his contract. He is contract 2 more years on the next year, $20 million. That is a lot of money. Be playing a guy with just star development. Guy who will be, turning, will be 29 for that season. So, then outside of that, you have Jalen Johnson out of Utah. I don't know too much about this guy, but young player, looks promising for sure. Take a look here at his ratings: 89 speed, 77 man coverage, 80 zone coverage. So, looks good, stat wise. Then outside of that, things get a little sketchy, I think. You got Buster Screen there. And then Kendall Vildor. It's been a rough season for him. Rough rookie year from what I know. This is a guy that I actually was somewhat interested in the Packers drafting. Just based on, a lot of his athleticism and things like that. Which you look at here, he's a very good athlete. 90 speed, 89 acceleration. Agility, jumping. Things here that do look good for him are his press and zone coverages. So those look good. But, I think definitely a prospect for the future for sure. Can't have enough good corners on your team. So this Bears team, you go from, this team looking like, boy, they're going to dominate for the next decade. Okay, so they do have Akeem Hicks here as the nose tackle, I suppose. Rush D tackle. Makes sense. Got Robert Quinn on the other side. I feel like that's just not good enough, though, in my personal opinion. Robert Quinn at the age of 30. So I think one of the goals for us is going to be having to strengthen that defensive line again. And also get someone opposite of Khalil Mack, who is 29 years old. Probably going to start regressing here. Just as, how regression works here. And 8 sacks so far in this season for Khalil Mack, which is good. But, he's going to be here probably the whole series with his contract. So we got to build around him, I think, and then, of course, find a quarterback for sure. But one of the things I want to do for sure, you saw it in my Raiders franchise. I want to get, I love the sort of, in basketball they call it the Twin Towers. When you get a dominant defensive center, you get a dominant defensive power forward, and it's tough to sort of beat a combination like that. You saw, I guess, an example would be San Antonio, with David Robinson and Tim Duncan that one year. You saw it in LA. for Kobe's, I believe, back-to-back championships that they won. You saw it with Pau Gasol and Andrew Bynum, and and Lamar Odom coming off the bench and all those guys. But that sort of combination defensively helps. In basketball, I think when you're talking football, having two, I think, if not elite, but near elite edge rushers makes things a lot easier for everyone else on your defense, and that's something we're going to have to do here as well. It's interesting. I think this Bears team should be a fun build up going forward, just based off the quarterback situation alone. Retooling this defense, it's already a 3-4, so I don't have to change the scheme at all, which is nice. I prefer building 3-4 defenses. I feel like the positional verbiage in Madden, it's sort of easier to build a 3-4 than a 4-3, where you sort of have to think about things sort of twice over sometimes, I think. So there's that. Draft class, I'm going to import a local file because Bangle just uploaded his draft class. So this draft class is now very different from where it was, I would say, earlier in the year. With quarterback prospect, I think everyone sort of figured there was three for sure guys in this class at quarterback. And that was Trevor Lawrence, Fields, and Trey Lance. Now Lance has somewhat fallen off. I believe he played that one game, didn't look as impressive, but two guys that have looked really impressive and have possibly played their way in to being first round prospects, and that is Kyle Trask out of Florida, who is putting up absurd numbers. Sort of very similar, I guess, to last year's Joe Burrow in some people's minds. And Zach Wilson out of BYU, who I guess has been playing some outstanding football. I don't pay too much attention to BYU football. These are guys that, of course, if you're a team like Chicago, you're looking at all of these dudes. I think, personally, I think the whole point of what Chicago's trying to do when you build a defense that's so good is that you want to be able to build that defense while also having the rookie quarterback. If you end up winning a Super Bowl and having to pay the quarterback down the line, that's fine because you won the chip. But obviously that wasn't going to happen with Trubisky. We can meme it to death. Yeah, they probably should have drafted Deshaun Watson. I don't fault them too much for Mahomes, because Mahomes was a little bit of a wild card. I guess sort of similar to Jordan Love last year, possibly similar to Trey Lance this year, sort of. Can they actually progress as an NFL quarterback? They have all the God-given athleticism and things like that, those natural gifts, those things that you just can't teach. But can they pick up the things that you can teach? Obviously, in Mahomes, yes. Jordan Love, jury is out, hasn't played yet. So, but Mac Jones also maybe looks kind of interesting, but I don't know. Alabama quarterbacks, no thanks. So there is that. Quarterback, definitely something you want to look at. There are also edge rushers in this draft. Gregory Roche, I believe is how you pronounce it. I could be wrong. That's a guy you'd want to look at. Jalen Phillips as well. Most of those guys would be great coming off the edge. So that's something we're gonna have to, think about when we get to the draft. We're gonna play out this season for sure. I'll go in after I record this video and I will get everything up to date myself, because I feel like if I'm waiting on EA, knowing EA, they'll probably upload the roster update like tomorrow morning or something. I don't have time to wait for them. If I wait for them, I'm gonna be waiting until I'm 40. So I'm just not gonna wait for them. I'm gonna get this going, and The first game we play will be against the Detroit Lions, who just fired their coach in real life, Matt Patricia. I was forgetting his name. Sorry for snapping into the mic. Matt Patricia just got fired. That was another team I was thinking of, but they play in a dome. One of the things I will say that I hated about the Vegas series is that the lighting in the Raiders stadium is absolutely terrible. It actually hurts my eyes to play in that stadium. It's way too bright. There's too much like white blue light coming off of the screen, and it kind of hurts my eyes a little bit. So I'm gonna be playing outside in Chicago in the elements with a team that I don't like. I enjoy seeing the Bears. I'm gonna be straight up honest with you. Sorry, Bears fans, if you're finding this video. I enjoy, as a Packers fan, I enjoy watching your team suck. I enjoy it. I like it. I like seeing, the only thing that's relevant about this franchise right now is the Super Bowl shuffle. So, if you could get over me bashing your team and making fun of it and things like that, I should be able to build this team into a winner, at least within 2 years, I think. That's the goal here. And so if you want to see that, want to join along, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time for Bears franchise. Peace.
We are the Bears, shuffling crew, shuffling on down, doing it for you. We're so bad, we know we're good, blowing your mind like we knew we would. You know we're just strutting for fun, strutting our stuff for everyone. We're not here to start no trouble, we're just here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
Well, they call me Sweetness, and I like to dance. Running the ball is like making more mans. We had the goal since training camp to give Chicago a Super Bowl champ. And we're not doing this because we're greedy. The Bears are doing it to feed the needy. We didn't come here to look for trouble. We just come here to do the Super Bowl shuffle.
This is Speedy Willie, and I'm world class. I like running, but I love